All right, so once again, welcome to the third part of this training series, and we're talking about understanding the various career paths in tech. And this is actually um, one of the most enriching parts of tech, cloud computing. So many jobs, so many opportunities in cloud computing. Very interesting that you could just pick one arm of cloud computing and be successful in in that part or in that aspect. So we are looking at cloud computing, and what are the things we want to actually look at in cloud computing? We said, what is cloud computing? Just like we have been doing before. What is cloud computing? How to become a cloud engineer? Now, the word cloud engineer, it's dicey. Why do I mean it's dicey? It's not just a cloud engineer that you can become if you understand how the cloud works. You can have solution architect. You can have cloud cloud administrator. You can have cloud engineer and many more. We're going to see some of the different roles that we can get to have when we understand cloud computing. Some virtual aids, that's some of the things that can help us to better understand cloud computing. Then we're going to have some interactive sections, and then we'll look at the final takeaway. Now, somebody should take a critical look at this topology or diagram. Most time, as a network person, you must begin to get familiarized with some terminologies that is used in networking in tech. So we don't mention it as diagram. Sometimes we say topology, sometimes we say schematic diagram. Okay, but they expect you to have those terms. So can somebody look at this topology and tell me something? What do you understand? What do you think is happening in this topology? Someone want to say something? Okay, yeah. You raise your hand, Mr. Raphael. Let's go. We can barely hear you. Okay, we can't hear you. All right, maybe.
Hello.
All right, yes, we can hear you now.
All right, sir. Sorry. Good morning. Good afternoon, sir. And good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Yes,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, from the what we have on this slide, I think what we have here is various devices, and that they show an arrow pointing towards the cloud, right? So that indicates that they are supplying or they are feeding the cloud with data or information to be stored. So I think that's based on my understanding.
thank you so much. You see, like I've said before, I said we are not, w- w- we are here to learn, and there is no wrong answer, because from every nonsense there is still a sense. Now, fantastic. Now, they are either supplying and also receiving data
Yes.
or information from the cloud. Now, you can
Yes.
see a phone there, you can see a laptop. Sometimes you do what? You download music, right? Where are you downloading the music from? From the cloud. Sometimes you upload, right? Your picture on what? On Google Drive. I know some people are beginning to say, is that cloud computing? Everybody uses cloud computing in one area or the other, but we don't just know that we are actually using cloud computing. Now, somebody is sitting at the Google office to ensure that when you upload a picture, the picture can be saved in a particular location for a particular period of time. That person are the people we called cloud engineers, people who manages the cloud. So receiving and feeding information or data in and out of the cloud is what we call cloud computing. And some people begin to say, oh, is this information stored in the cloud that we are seeing in the sky? That is one of the reasons why we are here, to know where the data are actually being stored. Let's move on. So we could see this. I think let's just take the definition. Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet. That is the simple definition. If you are writing the delivery of computing services over the internet, these services includes CPU, RAM, storage, databases, networking, operating systems, software, and so on. Are you seeing where I'm saying that it's important for what? For us to understand networking. Now, computing services that we can talk about involve storage, storing your picture, storing your movies, storing your music in the cloud. That is storage. A cloud service provider will give you storage to store those things. There is somebody who architects, who design that cloud solution. Those are the people we call solution architects, cloud engineer, cloud analyst. So these services or IT resources are delivered over the internet through a cloud service provider. Note, not just anybody can provide a cloud service. The three most powerful people or industries or vendors that provides cloud services are AWS, Amazon Web Services, AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google GCP. So we call it Google Cloud Platform. AWS, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform. These are the three major cloud service providers. Of course, we have many others. We have Alibaba, we have IBM Cloud, we have many others. Now, cloud computing enables faster deployment and scalability. Let me quickly explain this here now. The same way we have physical network is how we also have these networks in cloud, and it's the same procedure. Nothing has actually changed. But as we continue to learn, you begin to understand what I'm talking about. Now, look at this. These are the three major cloud service provider. Of course, they mentioned IBM Cloud here again and Kamatera. I'm even seeing Kamatera for the first time, but I've worked with IBM Cloud. I've worked with Google GCP. I've worked with Amazon Web Services. I've worked with Microsoft Azure platform. What do you do here? Just the same way I was showing you in my second slide the other time, how I power up another Windows 7 on a Windows 10. So the cloud service providers, they will create an infrastructure for you where you can come and fire up any networking service, any computing service that you need. If you need a Windows server, they will give you the platform to run the Windows server there. So these are the major cloud service providers: Microsoft Azure, Google GCP, Amazon Web Services, that's AWS, and IBM Cloud. And there are more, obviously. So key characteristics of cloud computing. Let me first of all go back again, because so that we can capture few things. We said cloud computing. If you look at this other diagram, we are bringing different services. Our phone, okay, let me even show us this now. This is a mast. If you look at this down part, the arrow pointing down, a mast. This is a mast or Wi-Fi signal that is connecting either whatever it is, our messages. Now you send a message from your phone, it delivers to your friend somewhere else. How is this message delivered? It's delivered through the cloud. You send an email from your laptop, it delivers to another person in UK. How? Is via the cloud. So how do I begin to, you must begin to think, how does this thing really works? It's not enough to be using the service. You now begin to come out of the end user and become the provisioner. Let me provision a service that can serve people. Let me be able to manage a cloud service. Okay, so we said cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet. And these services are any computing service we can talk about: CPU, RAM, storage, database, networking, operating systems. Now, when you talk about operating systems, as anybody when we were in school, we talk about different kind of operating system. Does anyone want to tell me the kind of operating system that he or she has had before? Operating system. Anybody? Okay, thank you, Mr. Raphael. Listening. We can't hear you. You are muted. Okay, somebody want to tell me some types of operating system. You should note something about operating systems.
Hello, sir.
All right, we can hear you now. Yeah.
All right. Sorry, sir. Sorry about that.
No.
I said Windows operating system,
Okay.
Linux,
Okay.
Unix.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you so
those are
much.
the ones. Yes, sir.
Mac OS, we have
Mac OS.
we
Yes.
have different
Yes.
kind of operating system. But most times, all of us, we are just used to the Windows. Oh, Windows, Windows. It's good. However, if you are going to become a very good cloud engineer, you need to know Linux. And we're going to do Linux here. Now, in Linux, the same way I was explaining to us that I have a Windows 10 and I'm running a Windows 7. We will still going to look at that briefly later, if time permits us. We have different variants. We don't call it uh, version like Windows. Say, oh, what version of Windows are you running? I'm running Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. Now there is Windows 11. In Linux, we call it the variant or distribution. We have the Kalinos. Kalinos is for people who want to study cybersecurity. Kalinos. Now, we have Ubuntu. We have CentOS. We have Debian. We have OpenSUSE. We have different kinds based on the one you want to fall in love with. But where we are going is now this cloud service provider, AWS, we create a platform where you can come and fire up. When you say fire up now, you can just spin up a Windows. You can just spin up a Linux server, a Linux machine, and you are good to go. All right. We move to the next slide. So I've explained this. Now, what are the characteristics of cloud computing? Number one, on-demand service, self-service. Users can provision computing capabilities as needed without requiring human interaction. Now, you can sit in your house and log in into AWS platform and create a server, and everybody in your department can begin to use that server to work. That's why we call it on-demand service, self-service. You don't have to go to the market and go and buy a machine and begin to install and begin to have to look for electricity, power, and all of the rest. No, all you need is your system and an internet connection, and then log into the site. Number two, broad network access. Services are available over the network and accessed through standard mechanisms. So you can access the resources, you can access the IT resources with ease. All you need is internet access. That's why we say that these resources are provided over the internet. Resource pooling. Resources are pooled to serve multiple consumers. So if, for instance, all we are doing here, we want to be storing this data like our videos. We want to be storing it. Fantastic. You know, we push this video to YouTube, right? YouTube has a storage in the cloud where they store those uh, video voice content inside, so that anytime we need it, all we need to do is to just do what? Click on the link, and it will take us to the storage, and we can be able to access it. I don't know if anybody is, if we are understanding or we are getting what we are explaining here, because it's important. I don't want to rush it. It's about 24 slides in total, but it's important that we understand it so that you will know which area do I even want to major in. Sometimes you've been thinking, oh, I I want to be a cybersecurity engineer. Oh, I want to be a cloud engineer. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Raphael. You can just drop it in the chat box. Okay, I get it. Oh, I'm comprehending. So once you understand, uh, um, I don't know if this is the right word to use, but I call it that cloud is actually the the way some people make money, and people think that what they have done is they've gone into Yahoo Yahoo. No, you can make more than the money a Yahoo Yahoo person is making, even in cloud computing, without stress. All you need to know is understand the technology, how it works, and be able to help customers, that's the end users, to resolve their issues. Rapid elasticity. This is the one of the major advantage. Rapid elasticity. What does it mean? Now, some of us want to get laptop now. What you want to do, maybe at the moment, it require just 5 gig RAM. Or some of us have phones, 5 gig RAM. When you get this laptop, and as what you are studying is increasing, maybe some of you now concluded that, okay, I am not doing networking, I want to go into programming. Once you make up your mind you want to do programming, and you are going to be installing Visual Studio's code, you are going to be installing Python on your system, installing many softwares that you need. Obviously, that laptop will not be uh, good enough for you again. You need to buy another laptop that has higher capacity in order to do your work. So you either sell this one and add money and buy the new one. When it comes to cloud, if the resources you are using is not enough, it can expand on its own to accommodate what you want to do. It's that simple. The only thing is, as your usage is increasing, so also your billing is increasing. Measured service. Resources usage can be monitored, controlled, and reported. You can set a limit that I don't want to use beyond this. You know, that I don't want to use beyond this. And you continue to work, and as you continue, when it's getting to that limit, you will be notified that, oh, you are already hitting this limit. You can go and look at, oh, where am I overutilizing some things? Let me reduce some resources here and there. So measured service. Okay, give me some minutes. Now, types of cloud computing service. Types of cloud computing service. Types of cloud computing service. So can someone read for me what's on the screen?
Types of cloud computing services: infrastructure as a service, that's IEAS. Then platform as a service, PaaS. Software as a service, SaaS.
Thank you. So we have majorly three types of software as a service. Or sorry, three types of cloud computing services. Three types of cloud computing services. Now, and we said the first one is infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service. What do we mean by infrastructure as a service? Now, you create the infrastructure is already built. So they build the infrastructure just like a house. It's built. You are just to come there and live in the house. When you are coming, I will explain now. Okay, you know, we have landlords, and what the landlord does, sometimes they don't even live in their houses that they built. They give you the house to live in, and all you need to do is when you are coming to the house, what do you bring? You bring your bed, you bring your furnitures, you bring everything, and you are paying him yearly for you pay him yearly for using his house. Okay, now just give me a second. I'm sending another link to the group because this link is going to expire in like 10-15 minutes, so we'll join back with that so that I don't want too much of interruption. So that is how infrastructure as service work. They create the platform for you. You come there and come and stay house your services. Number two is platform as a service. This one now is another level, but now they've already apart from the house. I will explain this way now. You've rented a house. Some of us are in school. The person who rented the house is now employing another person, subletting the house to somebody else. Maybe it happens on the island very well. Maybe he rented 3-bedroom flat. He will now give one room from that 3-bedroom to a friend. Inside that room, everything is already there: TV, bed, and everything. So the person is only coming with maybe his laptop. I don't know whether we understand what we are saying here. He's only coming with his laptop and clothes. Every other thing that is needed in the room is already supplied. Power, toilet, everything is supplied. That is how platform as a service works. Why software as a service? That is what most of us are using on our phone. You turn on your email, you send an email. That mail server is sitting somewhere. The mail server is sitting somewhere in the cloud. that is housing all of our forth and back mails that are going between us and our colleagues, or between us, a company, and so on. So understand these three: IaaS, PaaS or PaaS or SaaS, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. I'm going to be giving us assignments after today's class, and it will capture both the three classes that we've had. All right, look at this now. Fantastic. We are trying to explain the three of them. Software as a service is what? End user. Packaged software, OS, and application stack, server, storage network. So this one now, the software has already been built. Example, Zoom is already built. You are not building Zoom. The Zoom is already built and it's already sitting on a particular server somewhere. All we need to do is to launch the application and start using it. Some of us love playing games. Now, those games has already been built. They are running on a server in the cloud. All you need to do is to click on the game and you start playing. That is SaaS. SaaS now, that's software as a service, is talking directly to the end user. Platform as a service is talking to the application developer, people who are developing applications. That is where you make use of platform as a service. People who are developing the application. Now, IaaS or infrastructure as a service. This is now the infrastructure and network architect. This is where some of us comes into play. You begin to create the infrastructure, you create the network, you create the storage. You can see that now it's saying server storage network. So you need a server that will store information, and you also need the network as well. All right. Types of cloud deployment models. Types of cloud deployment models. Number one, we have public cloud. And we said the public cloud, these are services. Services are delivered over the public internet, just like our Zoom, just like this Google Meet that we are using now, is delivered over the public internet, public cloud, just as it sounds, public cloud. Private cloud, services are maintained on a private network. So, like a company can have all of its infrastructure seated in-house, but they can access it within the office or within their own local area network. I believe some of us can still remember when we were talking about networking, and we were saying that networking, that we have different kinds of network: WAN, LAN, MAN, and we said that the local area network is within a company, within a geographical location that is controlled by one person or an individual or an organization. That is private cloud. Hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is talking about the combination of both the public and private clouds. Community cloud. The community cloud is shared infrastructure for a specific community. I will show a slide now that will help us to understand what I'm talking about. Can you see this? Can you see my topology? Can you see the diagram here? Thank you. So you can just drop a chart. I like that. So you can see the diagram. The cloud deployment models. The first one is talking about public cloud. That is, this first one is public cloud. You can see that you have 1, 2, 3 personality put together there. Now, the second one, you can see just only one person, and it's using a VPN. That is private cloud. And you can see the hybrid cloud, both the public plus the private. And you can see community now within a geographical location. Now we can come together, maybe um okay, I think some of us we are in Isheri, so all of us in Isheri can decide to now come together and we learn cloud computing and create a cloud computing model that is only for the people that are living in Isheri, and we begin to sell cloud services for people within Isheri. That is a community cloud. If they ask you for the three major cloud deployment model, that is private, public, and hybrid. Some people don't talk about the community cloud. But if they say list the four cloud deployment model, then you should know public, private, hybrid, and community cloud. Do we understand this? So we move on to the next slide. What are the advantages of cloud computing? We said number one, cost efficiency, reduce capital expenditure. It reduces capital expenditure. What are we saying here? Remember, I said if you want to set up a Windows server, a Linux server now, you will have to go to the market, that is the normal way, and buy that server and begin to install and begin to know. But in cloud computing, you don't have to go through all of those stress. All you need to do is log into web AWS console or Microsoft Azure console or Google GCP platform and fire up your Linux instance and you are good to go. Number two, scalability. You can easily scale up or down based on your demand. If you discover that, oh, the people are not using the resources, that you can reduce the amount of resources you are paying for. Flexibility, access resources from anywhere with an internet connection. You see, you can access resources from anywhere with an internet connection.